Hey everyone, I'm Marlene, and welcome to the Tips for Guitar Playing Success podcast. Today's tip is Guitar Maintenance 101, 5 easy steps to clean, polish, and protect your guitar. This podcast is brought to you in part by Gator. Whether you just need a bag to gig with on the weekends, are a frequent flyer needing a flight-friendly TSA Series case, or a dedicated road warrior bringing your instruments on tour, Gator has a solution for you. For the stuff you love, guard it with Gator. In today's episode, I'm breaking down one of the most essential guitar maintenance tips that every guitar player should know about. I'll be guiding you step by step on how to properly clean and polish your guitar. This episode will help you extend the life of your guitar and keep it sounding and looking its best. So, listen on to learn about my practical advice that'll have your guitar thanking you. As always, a big shout out this week and thank you to our fellow guitarists joining us from the Czech Republic, Taiwan, Turkey, and Nepal. By the way, if you listen on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to your podcasts, or if you're watching on YouTube, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button right now. You'll be the first to know about new episodes, and you can share them with your guitar playing buddies. Now, on to today's tip. You know, cleaning and polishing your guitar is important, and it's a very easy, basic guitar care task. So let's get started. You know, many people ask me, how often should you clean and polish your guitar? Well, the answer is fairly simple, because you should do it every time you change out your strings. Because when you're cleaning and polishing your guitar, your strings need to be off your instrument. So the first thing I want to talk about are the supplies you'll need. You'll need 3 cloths, one to dust and clean the guitar with, one for polishing the guitar, and one for the neck of the guitar. And then you'll want either some mineral oil or fretboard conditioner, and then you also need some guitar polish. It's also helpful to have a key winder that doubles as a wire cutter. If you don't have this, any wire cutter will be fine. This also doubles up as a key unwinder, because we're going to unwind the strings, and to pop the pin out of the bridge. So they are pretty handy to have. All right, let's get started. I'm going to move these out of the way. Put them over here. And we'll just move these cloths right here. And we're ready to get started. So step 1 is to lay your guitar on a flat, hard surface and then remove the strings. Now, to remove the strings, the first thing you need to do is loosen the tuning peg. You can do that by hand, but you can do it a couple times with a key winder, and that'll make it a little easier. The reason you do that is because you don't want that sort of boing kind of effect when you cut the strings. All right, so the strings are all fairly loose. I might loosen those a little bit more. And now they're ready to be trimmed or cut. That's where you'll need the wire cutters. I like to do it over the sound hole, but you can cut them wherever it's comfortable for you. The reason I like to do that is because I feel like it's less chance of the guitar getting scratched at all. So then you go to each string, it's kind of loud, and you cut the string. So now we'll remove the strings. First we'll start with the strings that are attached at the head, and then we'll get to where they're attached at the bridge. Once you have those off, you can wrap them up and then dispose of them in your trash can. All right, so those are the strings off the head of the guitar. Now we need to take them off the bridge of the guitar, and to do that we need to pop each of the pins out, starting with either the first or the sixth. Whichever one it is, make sure you place them down in order so that you put the pin back in that you started with in that position. Alrighty, so we're ready for step two, and step two is cleaning. So you want to get your cloth out that you've set aside for cleaning or dusting. I have a D on here, that means dusting. And the reason you want to differentiate your cloths is because you don't want to clean with a cloth you've been using for polishing, and you don't want to clean with a cloth that you've been using for oil or the conditioner for the fretboard. So just a plain cloth, and they need to be soft cloth, kind of like that material that's in glasses cases. So just open it up and really just start wiping it down. Our guitars get dust on them, they get gunk from our fingers. You want to wipe the back of the headstock, you want to wipe the neck, just really give your whole guitar some love. And dust and wipe off the back of the guitar. And then an area you want to give some special love to is the fretboard, because sometimes on the fretboard, especially where our fingers lean up against the frets, we develop a little more buildup there, or I call it gunk, because our fingers have natural oils in them. And so really make sure that you give a little extra love to the fret bars, because they may have that buildup. If the guitar has a lot of buildup, you can use some very fine steel wool and you can remove it that way. All right, so just kind of wiping it all down, getting the dust off, the bridge too. Everything gets a nice thorough wiping off. All right, we're ready for step three. Step three, once you've wiped away all the dust and the gunk, you're ready to condition the fretboard, the top of the neck. So you need a different cloth for that. I use the one that I put N on because that tells me it's for the neck. You can use whatever designation you want, or different color cloths. This is a different color, so that's also a key reminder to me. And then you'll need your mineral oil or fretboard conditioner. So what you're going to do is you just take a small amount of the mineral oil or the fretboard conditioner. Place just a little bit on there. You don't need a lot. And then you're going to just gently rub that in to the neck only, the top of the neck only. So your fretboard, your fingerboard, however you want to think about it, and you're just going to rub it all over. So you'll probably notice when you're doing this part that the neck or the wood is a little bit thirsty. It's really absorbing that mineral oil or the conditioner, whatever you choose to use, on the neck. All right, so we're going to just let that do its job. It's going to soak in. You generally want it to soak for about 10 minutes. But we have more to do, so we're going to move on to step 4 while it's soaking in. So step 4 is polishing the body of the guitar. For polishing your guitar, you want another cloth, another soft cloth. I put a P on this one, so that tells me I'm going to polish with this cloth. Now the way you do it is you always put the polish on the cloth. You don't spray it on the guitar. So you're going to spray just a little bit of the polish on the cloth, and then you're going to polish your guitar. It's kind of like polishing a piece of furniture. So you really want to get the entire body, not the top of the neck of the guitar. You don't want the fretboard, but you're going to get the sides. You'll do the back. Just giving it lots of love. And you can give it as much polish as you generally might for a piece of furniture. So maybe I'll do just a little bit more. So I'm going to just spray that on here. And finish the back and the bottom and the sides. And then you also do that on the back of the neck of the guitar, because that wood needs a little bit of love too. And then you polish the head of the guitar, the sides of that. So all the wood except for the fingerboard. Okay? Ooh, it's looking good. All right. The guitar is going to love this. And you know what's really great? When you clean and polish your own guitar, you really get very intimate with your guitar. You get to know every nook and cranny differently than when you play it and tune it and things like that. So it's really a good idea to clean and polish your own guitar for that reason. So when you're done, you can just fold that up. With the polish, you don't need any real absorption time. Again, it's like when you polish furniture. So once you're done with all of this, then you would move on to step 5. Step 5 is circling back around to the fretboard or the fingerboard and taking that cloth that you used to put the oil or conditioner on and find a spot on it where it doesn't have the oil that you initially put on the neck. And you're going to go back in and you're just going to wipe it down, just getting off any excess oil or conditioner that might still be on the surface of the fretboard. Everything else is absorbed in, and your guitar neck will be so happy. Alrighty, voila! Now you're ready to put strings on your guitar, and guess what? That's next week's episode, so stay tuned. And as I like to say, play on. I hope this episode's tip has helped you to continue expanding your guitar playing skills and knowledge. If you'd like to learn more, please check out the many learning resources available at marlenesmusic.com. Thank you for joining today's podcast, and as I like to say, play on.